Welcome back, students. In last class, we have covered radiation shield. So we have derived these two formulas. This one, this one, and this one. Right. So we are going to use only these two formulas. If suppose there are multiple shields between two surfaces, suppose there are n shields, then you have to multiply this expression with n. Right. So if there is one shield, in that case n will become 1. So we need to remember this formula, right? Suppose emissivity of all the shields is equal to emissivity of surface. In that case, we are going to use this formula, right? Here n is the number of shields between two surfaces. Okay, and we can directly apply this formula and we can find out the heat transfer between two surfaces. Now let us solve one numerical. Okay, so a thin aluminum sheet with an emissivity of 0.1 on both sides is placed between two very large parallel plates that are maintained at uniform temperature of 800 Kelvin and 500 Kelvin and have emissivities of 0.2 and 0.7. Determine the net rate of radiation heat transfer between two plates per unit surface area of the plate and compare the result to that without the shield. Okay, so first we are going to find out radiation between sheet 1, surface 1 and surface 2 without 3. So in first case we don't have 3 because they are asking us to compare the result to that without the shield, right? So first we are going to use simple formula, that is Q is equal to EB1 minus EB2 divided by total resistance, right? So first we are going to find out Q1. So Q1 is the case where we are not using shield. So this is pretty easy and we have solved some numericals already on this. So we are going to directly find out radiation heat transfer between 1 and 2 in the case of 3. If we have 3 means radiation shield in between 1 and 2. So how we are going to do that? We are going to use one formula out of this one and this one. So in our case, as being asked in question, that emissivities are different for radiation shield and for the surface. So we are going to use this formula. And how many shields we are having between 1 and 2 is 1. So this n will become 1, right? So this formula we are going to apply. T1 already available, T2 already available, sigma we know already. Surface area is very large and they are asking us Q divided by A, right? Heat transfer per unit area. So we will take this A to the LHS, right? And then we are going to apply this formula. Epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 is already given. C1, C2 minus 1 is already given in the question itself. So we can simply apply this formula and find out Q12, right? What is Q12? Heat transfer between 1 and 2 when we have a shield between them. Okay, so we are going to apply this formula here. So we have taken this A from here to here, right? Because they are asking per unit surface area, and we are simply applying this formula: 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus 1 divided by epsilon 2 minus 1 plus 1 divided by epsilon 3 1 and plus 1 divided by epsilon 3 2 minus 1. What is the meaning of 1 here? The meaning of 1 is that, so it is the emissivity of this side, a side toward 1. and this is the emissivity of this side, a side toward 2, right? So it will remain same, 0.1 on both the sides. Okay, so here in our case, epsilon 31 is equal to epsilon 32, and both are equal to 0.1. So after putting the values, we can find out Q12806, right? So what is Q12? Q12 is heat transfer between 1 and 2 when we are using radiation shield, right? If we don't use radiation shield, in that case we have to apply this formula. Okay, so the value of R, as we already calculated in many numericals, how to find out this. So I will leave it for the students to solve it, and this will be your second question of assignment that you have to solve and submit me, right? Now we are going to see another question. So when I started radiation shield, in radiation shield we have seen this third application to reduce the error caused by radiation temperature measurement of fluids. So what happens normally, suppose we are in Russia, and in Russia they are having a lot of oil, petrol, right, gasoline. So what happens, temperature in Russia is very low. So in those areas where they are finding petrol, temperature goes around -20, -30 degrees centigrade. But if suppose we want petrol or gasoline from that area to some other area to the facility storage, right? Suppose here they are finding, here we are having well, and from here we have this pipe, right? And with the help of this pipe we are transferring gasoline from this point A to point B, right? So what happens, it has to go from very harsh environment, right? Because outside temperature is -20 degrees centigrade, and we need to maintain the temperature inside so that we will have proper discharge, right? So inside this pipe temperature should be of some level in on which we should have proper discharge up to the point B. So for that, in that case, these type of cases, what they are doing, they have to measure temperature at each point, right? At many cross-section areas they have to measure the temperature. In olden days they used to measure temperature with thermocouple or any other devices. So what used to happen, whenever they used to find out the temperature here, they used to find out temperature that they used to measure the temperature, they used to measure the wrong temperature, right? Suppose inside temperature is 700, outside it will be very less, or maybe there will be a lot of difference between them, and afterwards they found out it is because of the radiation between temperature measuring device and the pipe, right? So pipe is at -20 degrees centigrade, so that radiation caused the error, right? So on this we are going to solve one numerical, and this numerical is very important for competition purpose, especially for gate purpose. Okay, let's get to the numerical. So first we'll read the numerical. A thermocouple used to measure the temperature of hot air flowing in a duct whose walls are maintained at 400 Kelvin shows a temperature reading at 650 Kelvin. So what is happening here? This thermocouple is showing the temperature reading at this thermometer at 650 Kelvin, right? And the wall temperature is 400 Kelvin. Assuming the emissivity of the thermocouple junction to be 0.6 and the convection heat transfer coefficient to be H, which is 80 watt per meter square degree centigrade, determine the actual temperature of the air, right? So as I am telling you, in this case we are going to use radiation. So whenever these type of questions will come where we have to measure the temperature, first thing we have to keep in our mind that we can measure the temperature only in the case of steady state, right? So suppose, and what is the meaning of steady state? The meaning is that whatever energy is coming from outside to inside is going inside to outside, right? So whatever temperature is, whatever heat is coming inside this thermocouple should go out. Okay, then only we can maintain the temperature here. Suppose energy is coming inside and less energy is going outside, then temperature will keep on increase, right? So this will be not, it will be unsteady state, right? So what we need is steady state, right? So we will assume in these type of question always that the thermometer or the thermocouple has already attained the steady state. So in the case of steady state, what will happen? Whatever energy will come will be equal to energy that will go out, right? So as you can see here, how we are going to solve it. So energy because of convection coming to the sensor should be equal to energy or heat going to the pipe, right? Going to the pipe from thermocouple because of radiation, right? So because of the outside air, this thermocouple is going to get some heat, right? And that largely happens because of the convection, because in we are talking about the fluid, right? And then what will happen, this thermocouple will get heated, and because of the increase in heat, it is going to lose some energy to the pipe, right? And that is because of the radiation between this thermocouple and the pipe. So what happens, outside pipe maybe it is very very cold, right, compared to the inside hot air. So as you can see here, it is 400 Kelvin. Pipe temperature is 400 Kelvin, and air temperature is, that is reading is 650 Kelvin. And we can see there is 250 Kelvin difference between the temperature. So whenever we have this much of difference between the temperature, then only we will have incorrect reading, right? So how to solve this numerical? We have to just balance the heat, right? Whatever heat is coming inside the thermocouple should go outside. So heat is coming because of the convection and going out because of the radiation, right? So, so heat coming to the thermocouple because of the convection from the air, we can easily calculate with the help of Newton's law of cooling, right? That is Newton's law of convection, right? And we already know the formula that the convection heat transfer because of temperature difference is equal to A surface area into heat convection coefficient into delta T. So what is this delta T? Temperature difference between temperature of fluid minus temperature of thermocouple. Okay. So this should be equal to heat transfer from thermocouple to pipe, right? Because of radiation. And how, and this should be equal to, as you already know, area into epsilon into sigma T thermocouple to the power 4 minus T wall T pipe to the power 4. So how this formula came, that I am going to solve. Only how this formula came, that only I am going to solve, right? So we already know heat transfer because of radiation between two surfaces is equal to EB1 minus EB2, right? Black body radiation, right? Divided by total resistance. So what will be the total resistance? So total resistance is nothing but it is equal to surface resistance plus space resistance plus surface resistance. So first surface resistance will be of thermocouple. So all these terms, epsilon is for thermocouple divided by surface area of thermocouple, right? And this epsilon again for thermocouple. So I'm going to put 1 everywhere, right? So this will be the surface resistance of thermocouple, right? Plus now space resistance. And what is the space resistance? 1 divided by area of thermocouple plus view factor from thermocouple to the wall surface. Okay, then plus surface resistance of wall, right? And what will be, what it will be equal to, 1 minus epsilon 2. What is 2? 2 is for wall, divided by area of wall into epsilon of wall, right? So this area is of wall. So from this formula we can find out that area of wall is much higher than area of surface area of thermocouple. As you can see here, thermocouple is nothing like a dot. It is like a dot in front of this big pipe, right? So this A2 will be much higher than this A1 and this A1, right? So what we will assume, what we will consider that because this A2 is much higher, so this term, even if you will calculate, it will come very much equal to 0, almost equal to 0. Okay, so even if you don't want to make it 0, you can find out the value. There won't be much difference in the final answer, right? So because I will consider this term as 0, and now I am going to use only these two terms, right? 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by A1 into epsilon 1 plus 1 divided by A1 into F, right? So this F is nothing but F12, view factor from thermocouple to pipe. And what will be the value of F12? As we know already, we can easily find out view factor, like from our intuition also we can easily find out. Just seeing this diagram, we can find out that this thermocouple is very small compared to the pipe, right? So whatever energy will come out, whatever radiation will come out from this pipe, definitely going to strike this pipe, right? So whatever radiation is coming out of this thermocouple is definitely going to strike the pipe, right? So all the radiation that is coming out of the thermocouple is going to strike the pipe. That's why view factor of from thermocouple to the pipe will be equal to 1, right? So we are left with the expression 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by A1 into epsilon 1 plus 1 divided by A, right? Because this F will become equal 1, right? So when we are going to solve it, only this denominator, we are going to find out final expression as EB 1 minus EP2 divided by 1 divided by A into epsilon, right? So this A is nothing but area of thermocouple, surface area of thermocouple. Epsilon is nothing but emissivity of thermocouple. These both the things will come up at the numerator, and afterwards we are going to find out this formula, right? So this area will come up, and in this manner, right? This area will come up, this epsilon will come up from here, from denominator to numerator, and finally we are going to cut this area, and then we are going to find out this formula. H into delta T is equal to epsilon into sigma into T to power 4 minus T wall to the power 4. And when we are going to solve it, right, then we are going to find out this TF. This TF is nothing but the real actual temperature of the air, right? So what is happening here? Temperature of air is different, and what and this thermocouple is reading different temperature. Okay. So here we are going to use TTH, temperature of the thermocouple. Here you are going to use temperature of the air, right? Because in this case, heat is getting transferred from the air to thermocouple, from the fluid to the thermocouple. In this case, heat is getting transferred from the thermocouple to the wall, right? So by keeping all these things into mind, we are going to solve it, and finally we are going to find out TF from this formula, and finally we will find out TF as 715 Kelvin. So it is quite evident from the answer that this 715 is quite it is very higher than 650 Kelvin, right? So if we get this type of incorrect reading from the thermometer or thermocouple, then it is totally wrong reading, right? So why this reading is coming wrong? Because of the radiation, right? So this thing is greater than 650 Kelvin. That is being read out by thermocouple, right? So 715 is much higher than 650 Kelvin. Okay, that's how we are going to solve this numerical. So thank you. Now I'm going to finish this control.